Fistful of Lead. Man, it's been a while since we've seen this one. And this should look familiar too. It's basically the same terrain setup that we used for our laser burn game a few weeks ago. I want to see what happens if I play the same scenario using, instead of laser burn, Fistful of Lead. We can get a direct side-by-side comparison. Bear in mind, we didn't balance our forces in laser burn at all. For Fistful of Lead, I did use the rules as written for creating our two teams, and for the Space Papists, that means we have 5. So I've ditched one of the bishops. We actually have Cardinal Assault Rifle here, and Bishop, what does he got? He actually has an Assault Rifle as well, and what I've done to characterize these guys is, in Fistful of Lead, you just start slapping traits on the guys. So our leader, of course, is a leader. He's also a veteran. He's going to be rolling d12s every time he rolls the dice. He's steady, so he ignores shock and wounds when shooting, and he is encouraging. So if he wants, so instead of removing one shock from a figure within like 2 feet of him, he can remove all shock. The next strongest guy is probably our polearm guy. He does have a power axe. For those of you that play Fistful of Lead, I'm using just the core rulebook today. We can put that right back there. The core rulebook does not include, it does include rules for two-hand pole axes. They are, what are they? They're +2 to the wound roll. Because it's a power axe, I'm going to give it AP1. And I'll explain what that means here in a little bit. He's quick, so he has +1 centimeter movement. I'm using centimeters instead of inches because, again, I'm using my compact setup. And he's got dodge. So when he's running at you, if you shoot him and miss, he gets to immediately move 5 centimeters towards you. Our bishop is deft, and he's got eagle eye, so his big assault rifle here, he's got extra range on that. Deft means he can reload in just one action. This is a game you can run out of ammunition in. And then we've got our Swiss Guard with a submachine gun. We've actually got 2 of those guys. They're both killers. They both got Deadeye. So it's +1 to shoot, +1 to wound. Now, as far as the weapons are concerned, the assault rifles can fire bursts. They have a range of 12 and 24. The SMGs, the little submachine guns here for these 2 guys, can fire 6 centimeters and 12 centimeters. They can also fire burst. They're +1, and like I said, those 2 guys are +1 to shoot, +1 to wound. Everybody's got a pistol in addition to their primary firearm. Now what I did here is, this time I actually used the team trait. Above average. That means everybody on the team except the leader gets 1 extra trait. Normally, your regular guys, so these are our regular guys, these 3, would only get 1 trait. Whoops, they actually get 2 this time because the force is above average. Our polearm guy is the specialist. I said, hey, power poleaxe? Yeah, you got to be a specialist to use that. The Unkriegers have a leader, a specialist with a rocket launcher, and 4 grunts. Now, normally you can only take 3 grunts, but our leader has taken the trait Inspiring, which means he gets to take 1 extra regular soldier. He also has a bodyguard, so when you wound the leader, you can apply that wound to anybody within 24 centimeters of him. And he is, what else is he? He's a veteran, so again, he's rolling d12s for everything. This team is armored. They're all wearing light armor. Every time they take a wound, they roll a d10, and they have an 8-up save on that, unless they're being attacked by that power axe, which has AP1, and then they're treated as unarmored. The Rocket Man here is the specialist, so he's got the special rocket launcher. It only has a range of 24 inches, but it has the special ability Blast 5. I'm actually using Blast 4. The template I've got, it says gas, but it's actually Blast. It's 4 centimeters across, so it may be a little bit too small. It might be 5 diameter, so maybe it's too big. Whatever, I don't care. Range of 12, 24, and then the regulars all have +1 to shoot. They're all carrying assault rifles, so they can fire 1 shot at regular, well, I guess at +1 to hit, but if they want to, they can fire a burst. When you fire a burst, we should probably talk that out real quick, you can use the smaller burst template. It looks like this. You shoot at everybody under this template, but then you're automatically out of ammo. So you have to take a full turn to reload, unless you have quick reload, in which case you can do that in just 1 action. So that's it. Let's set up the guys. I'm going to set them up exactly the way I did last time, and let's see what happens. For a Fistful of Lead, you need a couple of d10s per side. Normally it's rolling off. For shooting, you're rolling, and at short range you hit on a 5. At long range, you're hitting on 8s. We have leaders with D12s. They're going to be rolling D12s for combat and shooting. We've got shock markers in yellow. I don't know that I have enough shock markers, to be honest with you, but I do have some numbered, like, hidden counters here with numbers on them, so we may swap those out. And then we've got a bunch of red chips for wound markers. I also have a couple of green chips for burst markers, and then the most important thing you need, I think, is your deck of cards. I've got the Fantasy Fistful of Lead, which I don't own the science fiction one, which would probably be more apropos. But the way this game works is you deal out 5 cards to each player, and in a normal game, what you would do is you would hold them in your hands, and you count down from Ace of Spades, or it's actually King of Spades goes first, and you count down until everybody's had an action. Because we're playing solo, I prefer to just deal them out, and then I flip them all over, and that tells me what turn each of the figures are going to act in. It doesn't make tactical sense. Instead, what we're really doing is just kind of letting things play out as they will. For our deployment, we have our poleaxe guy is protected by Bishop machine gun, and then down here behind this little power plant, you've got the other 2 submachine gun wielding guardsmen, the Swiss guards, and our leader, Cardinal assault rifle. On the other side of the board, you've got your rocket launcher down here near the camera. Off in the distance, you've got 1 mook, and then you've got our leader and just 1 bodyguard right next to him here in the center. So we have to deal out the cards. We deal them out, and you'll notice some of these cards have little scrolls on them. When this guy goes, he's got a 7 of hearts. That means he may re-roll 1 die on his turn. He can do that whenever it comes up. So if he gets engaged in melee before his card comes up, he can re-roll on the melee score. In this case, I've dealt them out, and the highest card is going to be the King of Clubs. That is our Bishop with the machine gun. You get 2 actions. He's going to use both of them to move, which means he can move up to 10 centimeters. But remember, this whole template is considered rough going. So he's going to be able to run up 3 centimeters to get in, and then his other 7 centimeters of movement is going to be slowed to half speed. So he moves to here. That's all he's going to be able to do this turn. The next highest card is over on this side of the table, and that's this mook, who will move a little more cautiously. He's going to move 7 to here, and he can now see what's going on with the Queen of Diamonds. The next highest card is back over on the Space Papist side of the board, and it's this submachine gun wielding mook right here. He can move 10, and he's going to run right around and get into position right here. That's the Jack. Then we're going to have the entire rest. Oh, no, that's not true. Coming back over to this side of the table. So one of the things I like about this game is that the order of operations matters. And you have to move the guys in the order that you're given, but there are still decisions to be made. This guy can move 10 centimeters. He'll run up and take cover behind the terrain here. So that's our 9, and then we go 8. He can also move 10. So he's got to come up to here, and that's as far as our Rocket Man can go. The 7 is the next highest card. So do we move him up and hope that we're okay here, that we're far enough away? I'm not going to pre-measure any ranges. Or do we just have him trot up 5 centimeters to here, and he can use his second action to hide so he can't be targeted? I don't know what good that'll do. We're just going to move him once, and that's it. Turning back over to the other side of the table, we do have the leader, who has a reload repair. So if you are out of ammo, you can play the 6 of hearts and you reload for a free action. He's going to move 10 centimeters, and that will put him right here. The hedges cost 1 centimeter to cross, and then the last 2 figures on this side of the board are also going to say, you know what, the leader's feeling kind of frisky. He's going to race up to there. This guy is going to race 10 centimeters to behind the big jungly plant there. I know you can barely see him. And if we slide on over to this side of the board, this poleaxe guy will also be able to, well, let's move him 5 centimeters to here. Now, he has speed, so he can move 6. And then he can move an additional 6 centimeters. He's not going to waste any time. He's going to race right up to here. He's going to cut around And then the last guy, we'll bring him down in this direction, but I'm going to bring him straight down like this. He's trying to stay out of the line of fire of these guys over in the ruins. That's the end of the turn. It's just that simple. The Space Papists have been dealt a very good hand. They have a couple of aces. Aces are wild cards. In a normal game, you would call out, does anybody have any kings you want to play? You can call out, I'm playing this ace as a king of spades. I get to go first unless the other guy has a king of spades, in which case the real one goes first. The good news is, if you have a guy that you really need to heal up, you can throw an ace on him and say, I'm using this card as a queen of hearts, and you get that one free wound for that. In this case, we're still in the movement phase, so we're going to bring this guy down. He's going to go first, and he's going to race up to here, staying in cover. Our poleaxe guy can move a total of 12 centimeters. He doesn't quite have enough to get to this piece of cover, so instead we're just going to bring him to right here. And hopefully that puts him in cover so he can kind of hop, skip, and jump, and then take out this guy right there in the very corner of the board. That's his card. And then our Queen of Clubs. The big boss man is going to use one of his centimeters to jump over. He can move 9 centimeters total, creeping along the bushes. There are 2 different kinds of cover. The bushes here are soft cover. They provide concealment, but they're no protection against the physical act of shooting. That means that when you're shot at in soft cover, the opponent gets -1 to his roll. Hard cover, it's -1. Well, you know what? Let me double check. We have a wonderful little quick reference sheet here in the back of the book. In light cover, you're at -1 to hit and -2 in heavy cover. There you have it. Then, is there anybody else? We got a 10? No. Well, who does go next? You know, this bishop does go next. It's in reverse alphabetical order. So the 10 of spades, he's only going to be able to move 5 centimeters. He's going to drift down this way. He is now at kind of the edge of the broken ground. He is still classed as in cover. We'll call it soft cover for that one. Now, we'll manage the unkriegers in the order that the cards are dealt. This guy is going to race up 10 centimeters. He's going to take up position right here in cover, and he's done. Next up is the 8. That's our leader, and our leader is going to move 10 centimeters to the corner of the building there. That's our 8. Then we have 7 of hearts and 7 of diamonds. Hearts goes first. We'll bring this guy up. Well, do we bring him down into cover? He's 6 centimeters away. He's going to move twice. He'll come up to here. And now on the next turn, if he can go first, let's take a look at that. He's right here. He's got an open line of sight to the bishop down there, who will be out of cover for the purposes of this guy shooting, but in cover for the purposes of these guys. And that's going to be really important because our rocket man gets to go 5 centimeters to here, and then he's going to go ahead and take a shot. Does he have line of sight to this guy? I think he does. And remember, that rocket launcher has a range of 24 centimeters. You know, I take it back. We're not going to do that. If shooting at long range at a guy in cover, we need a 10 to hit. So instead, what we're going to do is wait until next turn. If we take aim, if we use both actions to shoot, we can get that important +1. The reason I'm not shooting with that is that the rocket launcher is, it's called, what is it called? Limited ammo. If you roll a 1 on your 2-hit roll, you're out of ammo for the rest of the game, and he's down to just his pistol. So we move him up, although he does get the 1 reroll. Yeah, let's do it. He's got a reroll. So he is going to hit, and he's got to fire right here. He fires 24 centimeters, and that is going to fall just short. It's going to land right here, but because it's a burst, that may do some good. We need a 10, and with a result of a 13, we call that a 3. We get a reroll, so let's try that again. And this time we get an 8, which, oh, that's close, but no cigar. Bear in mind, these guys, oh, this was supposed to be right there. That ruins is, no, you know what, let's just leave it where it was. I kind of like that a little better. That's it for the 7, and then we have a reload repair. We're going to bring this guy up, and likewise, he's going to take a shot at the cardinal over there, and the cardinal is just out of range. So we still have to roll, and on a 3, he just straight up misses. He would need a 9 or better because it's long range soft cover. So that would be 9. But he's done. And then we have this guy. Oh, did I already move this guy? I did. I usually take the cards away after I've moved them. And then we have this 5 of spades who's going to run 5 centimeters up to right there. And that's going to be the end of the turn. I'll deal out some new cards. Admittedly, this scenario, just line up and shoot at each other, is pretty basic, but it's been a while since I've played this game. I just want to refamiliarize myself before I start doing any of the scenarios. Even the core rulebook, which is, again, fairly generic, they have a game called, they have a science fiction game called, boy, what is that called? It's very pulpy. Wait a minute, I bet it says in here. Galactic Heroes, that's what it's called. And they also have a couple of different books of, now this comes with sample like forces to give you an idea how to build your own, but they also have a book that will tell you how to build things for like stormtroopers or marines in space or space orcs. You know what I'm talking about. You can use your existing collection with these rules, no problem. As you can see, once again, the space papists have the advantage. And we're going to start with the Queen of Diamonds and then Clubs. So Diamonds goes, and we got to bring them up the 5 centimeters to here. And then we'll go ahead and we got to take a shot. Let's take a shot at the closest guy. That's right here. He is going to be, 13. He's still at long range. The boss man there, and remember, this is our boss man. He's going to roll a d12. Because it's long range, it's 14 centimeters. He needs an 8 to hit. It's -1 because of the cover. And does he have anything else? He is steady. Nope. He's got an assault rifle, and he can fire a burst, but he'd have to reload. So that burst doesn't do him any good at this point because he's only shooting at one guy. So just looking for a, what did I say? 8, 9. Yeah, we're looking for a 9 or better. So an 8 is going to be a miss. And then we have, I like to pull the cards out. You'll notice that I put the cards along the backside. Kind of keeps the action a little clearer, right? Then this guy gets to go, and he's going to race up and hunker down right here in the ruins where they don't have a shot at him. He's behind the high walls. So maybe this guy has a shot, but definitely he does not. The rocket launcher, that is. So we're going a little bit, a little bit cowardly this time. Perhaps we can forgive him. Next up is this Jack right here. He is going to be at +1 if he fights in melee, but he's not. He's too far away. He's going to take a long-range shot. That's only 19 centimeters. He's rolling a d10. He needs a 9. It's 8 for the distance, and then 9. Oh, but he's +1 to shoot. So 8 for the distance, +1 to shoot, -1 for the hedge, looking for an 8 or better. A 3 is going to be a miss. And we take, we do have an ace down here. This ace is wild. We can use that whenever we want. We're going to use that as a +1. Wait, where did that ace come from? There's 6 of them. That's right. This goes with this guy right here. If we're willing to wait until Jacks, we can get +1 to shoot rolls. Well, hey, it's Jacks right now. We're going to use it right now, and we're going to get that extra +1 to the roll so that when we shoot at the Cardinal over here, he's just in range. Look at that. It's 24 centimeters right there. Same deal. Rolling a 4. This is a spin down die. Whenever we roll greater than 10, we reduce 10, and that's your ultimate. And I like using these. I'll show you why here in a little while once we get into melee. So that's a miss. And then next up is going to be the 9. So that's this fella right here. He's going to fire. Again, long range, looking for a 9 on this one. A 3 is a miss. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right, guys? Next is our leader, and our leader does not have line of sight to the battle axe guy. So he's going to slide on down over here. How far is 5 centimeters? He's going to come on over here. That's about 3, 4, 5. He's in hard cover, and he's going to take a shot at the Cardinal over here. At short range, they're 12 centimeters apart. But because the space car is in the way, We're going to call it heavy cover. But remember, we're at short range. The leader of the Unkriegers is a veteran. He's rolling a d12. And at short range, you only need a 5 to hit. Becomes a 6 and a 7 because of the car. With a 9, we get a hit. Once you've hit a guy, then you roll on the wound chart. Let's take a look at that real quick. In melee, you take the difference in it's a roll-off, right? D10 versus D10. And then you take the difference between the two scores. So if the winner wins by 5 or 6, you add 2 to this wound roll. Because it's a shooting roll, because there's nothing really we got to, as far as like, this is a very powerful weapon. What is he shooting with? He's shooting with an assault rifle. So it's just going to be a straight wounding roll. Now, bear in mind, because he's a veteran, we're rolling a d12 on this one. And with a result of a 5, that becomes a shaken effect. So we put 1 shaken counter down on the leader, and he now is at -1 for everything he does. -1 movement, -1 for all die rolls. And that will be the end of the leader's turn. Then it's going to be the 8 of spades. And the 8 of spades is way over here. You can barely see him. Our bishopy boy is going to race down here. We'll bring him... Ooh, we got to be careful because of this shooter down here. There's a wide open space here that we don't want to leave ourselves open to gunfire. And I don't think I moved this guy last turn. I don't think I did anything with him. That was probably a mistake. I guess he's bringing up the rear. We could bring him... If we use both of our moves, we could bring him up to here, where he'd have a shot at this guy next turn. But this guy might move next turn. Let's do that. We're just going to bring him right up to here. And he's still in cover, soft cover. And now, hey, stay where I point you. He's got the line of sight there. That's going to be, which guy? The 8. And then we have this 8 of clubs gets to take a shot. That 8 of clubs, as I said, at 13, he is going to be rolling a d10. And it's at long range, so he needs a 9 because of the hedge. Oh, he needs an 8 again because he's a big boy. He's got +1 to shoot. A 6 still misses. The last 2 characters on this side are going to be, we'll bring... Oh boy, we're gonna have to. I don't know what to do with this guy. He's we wasted too much time. If we bring him over here, we're gonna get shot by that guy. If we bring him down here, I think we have to bring him down here, and then try to race down into the ruins. So a bit of a mistake there. The last guy on this side is gonna be our poleaxe guy, who with 12 centimeters does not have enough movement to get to his target. He's going to stop right here. Without the backup of the leader, is wide open. But this guy now has an opportunity to have some fun. He can pop out. Let's take the point-blank shot, okay? We know we're going to get charged the next round. So we're going to take the point-blank shot. We just need a 4 or better to hit. And with a 10, we hit Mr. Poleaxe. And this is just a straight roll now. We roll a 3, so Mr. Poleaxe is... oh, yeah, he's shaken. He must immediately move towards cover. It cannot take him towards an enemy figure. He's got to fall back into cover here. If you take a shock marker while being shot at, if you're already in cover, you're okay to just hunker down and stay there. By the way, if we wanted to, we could have re-rolled either of those dice. With the 2, the benefit of waiting to go last is that you do have that reroll. We didn't do that because we're happy with the hit. We're happy. Oh, we could reroll that 3 for the shock. What do you think? Should we do that? We can do better than that. Let's reroll that. So 5 is still going to be a shock result. He still winds up there. We're still done with the turn and need to deal out some new cards. The first 2 figures that want to act in this next turn are the bishop and this grunt. They both have an ace. They both say, I'm playing this ace as a king of spades, so I can go first. Because we have that tie, it falls to the suit. meaning the bishop gets to shoot at this guy first. He is not in cover from the bishop's perspective, and the bishop has eagle eye, so his short range is 14. Oh, he's a little shy. He's still firing at long range, but because he hasn't moved, he's using both of his actions. He gets a +1 on his 2-hit. So he will be hitting on a 7 with his assault rifle. With a 12, he misses. Now this guy is going to fire at the poleaxe, and again, because he's not moving, he is going to be hitting on a 4. With a 5, he will hit, and he rolls for the wound on the table where we can see it, please, and he gets another shock. So if our poleaxe guy decides to charge, he'll be at -2 on the melee. But he doesn't get to do that yet, because the next action belongs to the Queen of Hearts. That's our leader over here, and the leader is of the Unkriegers is going to take another shot at the leader of the space papists. He is rolling a d12. The range is less. Here's 12 centimeters. It's just within 12 centimeters. So he is going to be hitting on a 5, 7, 8 for the heavy cover. And he's aiming, so that goes back down to a 7. With a 7, he will hit, and the leader of the Space Catholics is going to roll a 3, and he draws another shock. We'll take it. Could have been a lot worse. Now it is time for the guy with the man with it. We got a +1 to shoot roll on the jack. That doesn't do us any good. Do we still charge even with the 2 shock? Let's give it a shot. Remember, each of his moves is at -2, but he's quick. Normally he can move 6 centimeters on a turn. Because he has -2 to each of those, he can only move 8. 8 centimeters will bring him within the all-important 1 centimeter that triggers a melee combat. Both of these guys, we're going to roll red for the polearm, and we're going to roll blue for the guy with just a regular sidearm. And unless I am mistaken, the guy with the polearm has the ability to brawl. He can re-roll his melee dice. So if the red die is lower, he gets to re-roll. And we're absolutely, with the result of a 1 versus a 9, we're absolutely going to re-roll that. We get a 5, which means we have still lost by 4. When you lose a melee by 4, you roll on the wound chart at +1. So a 4 plus another wound is 4 plus 1 is another shaken result. And with that shaken result, this guy has an opportunity. He can either push the polearm guy back a couple of centimeters, that's what we're going to do, or you can switch places, or you can just stay the way you are. You know, I was wrong. You can still move at full speed with a shock marker. It's wounds that give you that -1 to movement. The shock does reduce your combat and shooting and recovery rolls, which we really need. Your leader can remove shock 1 per turn, but that's got a range of 12 centimeters. Maybe we should have brought our poleaxe guy through here. Oh well, too late now. Next up will be this mook over here. He will be shooting at the leader. He is firing at long range still, needing an 8, +1, -1, just looking for that straight up 8. With a result of a 9, he hits, and with a result of a 10, I gotta show you, with a result of, oh no, no, that's right, you roll that, he's gonna be out of action. Does he have any skills that might help him? He can ignore shock and wounds when shooting. That's not going to do him any good. He is out of the game. So first blood to the Unkriegers. And he's not even going to get an opportunity to act this round. That was the 10. We're on to the 7. And the 6 of spades will go next. So the 7, that's this guy, goes next. He's going to go ahead and pop out. Now I can see you. And he's going to take a shot at, we got to shoot at this guy here. I don't like that guy. With the 7, we get a reroll. That's going to be at long range, needs an 8 to hit. 9, 10 because, oh, he needs a 10 to hit because all of this hard cover is going to make life difficult. He gets a 9 and he says, I'll take the reroll. Wait a minute. Does he have anything else he could do? Oh, he's +1 to shoot. Oh, that 9 might have done it. He needs an 8 with a total of -1. So -2 +1. He hits with a 9. Now he rolls to wound the Rocket Man. He gets a 3 and says, I want to reroll 1 die. I think I can do better than 3. And with an 8, he is going to hit and do an wounded. Does he have... Oh, he's +1 to his wound rolls. He is... Oh, but you know what? I forgot. He has to move up to here because that is a submachine gun. And he fires a burst, and it's going to hit everybody under... He doesn't have a range of 24. He's got a range of 12. It's going to hit this guy, too. And so that guy is going to take a 9, and he's going to be out of action. But with the submachine gun, so this guy takes a wound, the Rocket Man takes a wound, the other guy is out of action, but that submachine gun is out of ammo. He's going to have to spend a turn to reload now. And then it goes to the 6 of spades. Oh, with the wounding hit, I think that might force a duck back. Let me check real quick. Even worse, he drops where he is. Ugh. From now on, the figure has a -1 to wound, shoot, close combat, task, and recovery attempts, and a -1 to move. He does not exert the 1 inch for close combat. If he is if he's near a ledge, there's a chance that he falls over and goes boom boom. We'll take it. That's going to take an action to stand up, by the way. We are on to the 6 of spades. So yeah, it's his turn now. He can reload, but he doesn't really have to do that. Instead, he is going to make a recovery check. He's wounded, so we roll, and he's at -1. So we're going to roll, and on a result of a 1 or a 2, he's out of action. With a result of a 10, the model may stand up. I think that takes both of his actions, doesn't it? Let's check the rules real quick. When you recover, you can do nothing and remove 1 shock. You can rest. You can spend both actions to remove 1 shock. You can roll. Wait a minute. Does that take 1 action or 2? I'm pretty sure that takes both actions. He is still wounded, but he may stand up. The only way to remove a wound is with a medic or a Queen of Hearts. It is now time for the 6, and this guy is going to hop the fence and race down the 9 centimeters to there. That's his turn. Special rule does him no good, and that's going to elicit... Now here, this guy with the 5 of Hearts is going to open fire. Is he within 12 centimeters? Now he is at plus... We are right at 12 centimeters. There it is, people. He's going to be at +2 altogether. +1 for his trait. +1 because he is aiming. He's going to squeeze off 1 round. He's hitting on a 3 or better. With an 8, he hits, and for his wound roll, he gets a 9. That puts this SMG boy out. So 2 down for the religious fun addicts. We have one more guy, and that's this guy, who is going to use both of his actions to... Man, we only have 1, 2, 3 of these guys left. He's going to use both of his actions to race around to this corner right here, so he can start shooting at this corner right here, so he can start shooting at Mr. Polearm. And that's going to be the end of the turn. The cards are dealt, and as you see, we've got a Joker down here. We don't use a Joker in a game like this. Some scenarios have special events that are triggered on a Joker, but since we don't have any of those, I'm just going to replace the Joker with the next card in the deck, which is, fortunately for the Unkriegers, an Ace of Clubs. We can use that for whatever we want. Let's wait. Do we have any Kings? Gotta announce it now. It's too late if you don't do it. We do not. We have a couple of Queens up here. Let's take a look. We can, I think we need to try to recover this guy. At -3, do we really want to charge and fight a combat with -3? I think we do. Diamonds goes first. We're going to do it. We're going to get stuck in. We're at -3 on our combat roll, but we get the re-roll. So once again, the red die is for the guy with the poleaxe. It's a 4 versus a 3. Now 3 minus 3. Oh, we got to do the re-roll. We get a 6 minus 3 is a 3. We lost by 1. We're going to take one more wound roll, and with a 9, he is out of action. Oh, that's what happens when you fight while you're shook. It was worth a shot. If we'd hit that guy, we absolutely could have put him down. We're not doing a lot of shooting. The next queen is over here. He does have the assault rifle. He is going to be firing at this guy in the wide open space with the aimed shot. We're hitting on a 7. Does that bishop have anything else? No, we're hitting on a 7. And we roll a 1, so he's out of ammo. And we get to drop a reload marker. He is deft. It will only take him 1 action to reload, but that's going to give his opponent time to react. We'll move this figure up to here. He stays out of line of sight of the bishop. That's on the 10 of hearts. And then we have a 9 of hearts over there who's going to use one of his actions to move into cover and his second action to fire. Now that's at long range, in light cover, negated by the +1, so this is just a straight looking for an 8. And on a 1, he is going to be out of ammo as well. Now he's going to have to take a full turn to reload his weapon. We have a 7 down here, which nets us a reroll, and that may be what we want to do with this guy down here. Be that as it may, we're going to go ahead and bring our boss man up to the car. He is in heavy cover, and we're going to fire at this guy because the boss is touching the car. Let's take a closer look, as you can see here. And here's our 12 centimeter range. He's in close range now. With the reroll, this is not going to go well. He's rolling a d12. He is going to be hitting on short range, so a 5. It goes up to 6 because of the hedge. We just need a 6 or better on a d12. And we get the reroll, so the 2 don't matter. The 10 is going to be a hit, and because it's our leader, we're rolling on the wound roll, and 8, this guy is going to fall down. He is going to be wounded, and he's going to need to make a recovery check. Then you know what? Since we have the ace over here, let's take advantage of that reroll. Well, we don't have anybody to shoot at, though, do we? Yeah, we got to start moving over. So we're going to run 10 centimeters. We're going to hop over to here, staying in cover. Unless we want to race around this way. I don't think we want to do that. That's going to be it for him. Now, this guy can only move 8 centimeters. And we'll go ahead and bring him the full 8 to there. He is still wounded. 8 because he moves 5 centimeters, -1 for the wound. And then we have this guy who is going to try to recover. And we roll. This is going to be -1 on the recovery roll. So a 1 -1 is going to be a 0. And if you're at 1 or less on the recovery, you are out of action. So 4 of our boys are out of action. 1 of them is out of ammo, and it's going to be a total party wipe. Well, not a total party wipe. I'm going to call it quits right there. I've shown you how the game works. It's a lot of fun. It's pretty easy. It's a great game to play solo. There are some rules you can download from wiley-games.com. That's where you can purchase a copy of these rules. And the solo games have a situation where you get dealt your hand of cards. You deal cards out, and the suit on the card will tell you how the opposition figure is going to move. In other words, you've got a limited AI that is driven by the suit on the card. And that gives you a little bit of guesswork that you have to play. You deal all those out, and then you have to look at your hand, and you can play them however you want, instead of just throwing cards down on a figure like I do. So it does give you a little bit more leeway and a little bit more decision-making than you've seen here. But great game. I really like this game. One of these days I'm going to get on the table with an opponent, and they're going to wipe the floor with me, and it's going to be just as much fun as we've had here today playing this together. Till next time, guys, I'm praying for you.